Hello, this is Cinema 4D Quick Tips, and today we will show you how to visualize sound using plane effector with a sound field. Create a cube by clicking on the cube icon, go to the Object tab and reduce the size X, Y and Z to 100 centimeters. Lift the cube relative to its coordinate axis. For this, open the Asset browser by clicking on the Asset browser logo and search for axis. Drag the geometry axis from the Asset browser onto the cube in the Object Manager so that the geometry axis becomes a child of the cube, and close the Asset browser. Go to the Inputs tab of the geometry axis, zero out the value of the axis X property and set the axis Y property to 100%. Now create a cloner by clicking on the cloner icon. Make the cube a child of the cloner. Select the cloner in the Object Manager. Go to the Object tab. Change the mode from grid to linear. Increase the count to 7 so that our equalizer has 7 bands. Set the PX property to 120 centimeters. Zero out the PY property. And arrange the default camera so that the Z-axis is directed away from you. With the cloner object selected, create a plane effector by clicking on the plane icon. Go to the Parameters tab of the plane effector. Zero out the PY property. Check the scale box and set the CY property to 3. Go to the Fields tab of the plane effector. Click and hold on the linear field and select the sound field. Turn on the color icon and load your sound in the soundtrack property. Move down to the amplitude graph. By default, we have one sound probe that covers frequencies from 10 to 20 and volumes from 10 to 90%. These limits can be changed by dragging the probe and its sides and points, or by changing the corresponding properties below. Press the Play Forwards button. All the clones are now scaling along the Y-axis according to the change in amplitude within this one probe. Stop the animation. Let's create 6 more probes so that each clone reflects the amplitude in its own frequency range. Drag the first probe to the left towards the lower frequencies and down so that the amplitude starts at 0. Click anywhere on the amplitude graph to deselect the first probe and press the Add Probe button to create a second probe. Then drag the second probe so that it is to the right of the first probe. In the same way, create 5 more probes. Move down to the gradient. To change the gradient, press the Load Preset button under the gradient and select, for example, the Full Colors gradient. Press the Play Forwards button. Stop the animation. Now let's make a base for our equalizer. For this, create a plane by clicking and holding on the cube icon and choosing plane from the pop-up palette. Increase its width by dragging the corresponding point in the viewport and move it along the X-axis. To keep the base of the equalizer at the 0 amplitude level, go to the Coordinates tab of the plane and set the PY property to 100 centimeters. It is the height of the cube. Press the Play Forwards button. It's okay. Thank you for your attention, subscribe to the channel and put your finger up.